Coffee morning. Yay. Oof. I need to wake up. All right. This is Melissa here, just starting our blog. I have no script. I'm just going to go with it. We're walking. We're doing a big walk here. And when I get to a place to sit down and use the bathroom, we'll stop it here. I got to put my microphone on. I don't even have it on yet, so the sound might be a little raspy in this first part. Reserved to do a hike, and I thought I would do a blog out here, something different than being in the house. Kind of maybe talk about why I came to Utah from Canada and what my first thought about Utah was, considering that it is a state known for its high concentration of the Mormon religion. So I'm gonna hike a bit forward here and I'll stop. There's a little place to sit up ahead and maybe we'll have a little chat about moving from Canada to the United States and living in Utah. The mountains are pretty gorgeous out here. It's one thing that is amazing about this area. We're gonna walk to that little structure there, sit down. There's another one out there. It's just blue skies, chemtrails, as far as the eye can see. And we got cattle out here. Let's see if we can zoom. Yeah, look at those guys. It's my bee shot. Bear with me. I don't have a stand here. He's holding the phone up, sitting down now. So I came to Utah in 2023, essentially because I met my husband. I'd known him for several years, and we decided that we wanted to make the long distance kind of boyfriend girlfriend thing permanent and get married. And so even though I lived in a really nice area of Canada on Vancouver Island, it seemed like, that it would be beneficiary for me to come here since he had the better job, he had the house, all that kind of stuff that I didn't necessarily have on Vancouver Island. And so I've been here for about 3 years. And if I had to say in one statement, one sentence, or how I felt about being in Utah, and this took me 6 months to a year to kind of absorb everything, to say how I felt about Utah. If you asked me in one sentence right now, I would say that, and I said this to my husband, because he's a former Mormon. He hasn't been a Mormon for almost 3 decades. But my comment was that I felt like, jogging by, I felt like I was in the Stepford Wives, but it was the Stepford Mormons. It really does feel like there's some kind of program or script, like it's its own little world, and everybody is on some kind of template that I'm not on, for lack of a better word. And that was kind of challenging to deal with, I think. So I've sort of had to create my own little identity here on my own. And I think, in future, we probably will go to a different state when he retires. Because, it's a beautiful state. It's got fantastic nature, but it's getting very expensive to live here. So I'm going to walk ahead and we'll talk a little bit more about the Mormon template, and the sort of the Stepford Mormons, the Stepford Wives kind of feel here. We're going to walk to this little structure here and continue our story to zoom up. I've never been over there before, but there I have it. Let's unzoom. We're going to take this boardwalk over there. It's just such a beautiful day out in February. I'm losing my months, but it's just so gorgeous out here. For the time of year it is, I'm just wearing a sweater. We're taking a walk. We're on our way. I hope this boardwalk leads over there. I have no idea. But it's, might as well talk while I'm walking here for a few seconds. But the Mormon Stepford wives things and the template thing is, I figure, very much prevalent throughout most of the organizations and groups and families here. And I think it was something that caused a lot of grief for my husband because he's raised in a Mormon family. And it's why eventually he left for good. He had left at 18 to go to the military. He had, when he came back, he tried again, and he just couldn't get with the template, with the program. He just couldn't do the program. And it's I'm not going to get into what the program is. It's just, if you are from out of state and you come here, you'll feel it eventually. Over time, you'll feel that program. And some people can do it and some people can't. And I certainly wouldn't be able to do it. Let's head over that way. Still frozen water in a little marsh here. It's so warm and it's so bright out. We've got some iciness too. We came from back there. There was a little bird over here. I don't know what it was. Let's see if I can zoom in and get him. Oh, there's his tail. He's going to go into the water. We missed him. If we can get him over here. Oh, I think he's in there. You can hear him scurrying. This little bird, he walked right over the trail. He's kind of trying to be incognito in the grassy lands here. Sorry for the jet flying overhead. It says, on this bench dedicated by the Nature Conservancy to the, what does that say? Rare Butterfield beloved friend and colleagues. Cara Butterfield, August 16th, 2025. Oh, that's rather new. The birds have clearly taken care of that. All right, we're getting closer to this rather interesting structure. Hopefully my hand is steady. Little birds flopping around in here. I tried to catch them, but they're too quick for me. So let's keep forward march. I see some gates here. We may not be able to go up here. Let's check it out. If not, maybe we'll just do a little filming in front of the gates. But these are some interesting structures. You're supposed to be able to get in, but danger, construction area, keep out. No trespassing, so we can't go in. But we can talk here and finish this little vlog up. We won't tempt fate and try to climb the gate. I mean, I feel young for 49, but not that young. We'll try to keep it short and sweet. The whole concept I was just talking about with the whole Mormon culture and the template, I have a feeling that if you'd come here 20, 30 years ago, you would have felt it even more intense. And then thus forward, it's just sort of the way it is with the dominant Mormon church. But the strange thing is Utah kind of feels like new California. A lot of people from California are coming in, and that means it changes automatically with new population. And I often hear people online, like on Facebook, who aren't very happy about that. They want things the way it was. They grew up Mormon. These are their towns. This is their culture. I actually completely sympathize with that. And I'm not here really to change their culture. To be quite honest with you, I have no interest in that at all. But primarily, I don't want to get political, but things in Canada where I was, I mean, it was almost impossible to live on the West Coast because that's where I lived. Vancouver is just right out. And the island where I was living was just getting phenomenally expensive. And Utah is actually, doing the same things with housing prices and everything. It's going up. So one of our biggest goals will be eventually probably to move from Utah to a different state and retire so that we can actually afford to live and not pay insane mortgage prices. Like, things are pretty crazy. But the good things about Utah, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful things. I don't want to complain too much. I've given you multiple, mountain views here, and it has great mountains, great skiing. You go down south to some of the national parks, and it's amazing. We've already been down to, I've been able to see the Delicate Arch and all that stuff in the Arches National Park. It is, there's a lot of good things in Utah. It's just, you'll feel that template, and you can either join it or you can kind of do in your own world. And I'm not going to get into Mormonism here and things that I don't like about it, but I will leave it at that. I would not join the template. I would not get into the Mormon template. It's not my thing. If you like it, good for you. I mean, I hope it works for you, but it certainly wouldn't work for me. But Utah is a great state. I have a great husband who left the template. I'll say template instead of temple, right? And I would say I'm pretty grateful to be here. It's a different adventure than being on the West Coast by the ocean. There are lots of times where I miss the ocean. It's the one thing I do miss about being here is the ocean. I was born by the ocean on the East Coast in Canada. I lived most of my life on the West Coast, right along the ocean. It's something that, with being almost 50 here and it's drier, higher elevation, my skin is like, help me, God help me. So I'd have to do a lot of like hydrating. When I first moved here, I had to have a humidifier all the time because it was so dry. I have to do a lot of like baseline hydrating to my skin. It's and I will say when I was on Vancouver Island, I was closer to nature. But I found this little area here, and it's really nice to walk on this boardwalk. So wherever you go, there's always beauty. There's always good things. There's a lot of fantastic nature about Utah. And I found this little boardwalk walk that I see quite a few people at. And there's several other hikes that I've found since I've been here as well, that you can get some light fitness and enjoy nature. Because that's the ultimate health, is to be out in the sun for a little bit, not too much, a little bit, out in nature, out in the fresh air. So wherever you go, I just happened to move from Vancouver Island to Utah, of all the strangest things, but wherever you go, always, it takes time to acclimatize. It took me time to get used to being here. There was some homesickness. You've got to find the beauty in the area. It's just so warm. I can't believe it's the beginning of February. So I came here for marriage, and I'm slowly, merging into the culture here. It's not a big change from Canada to United States, but it is a change, and there are differences in the culture. Maybe I'll do a video one time about that. If you guys want, if you want to hear what I think the differences are, put it in the comments. But it is, yeah, there's always potential in every place you go, and there's always beauty everywhere. It's the one thing that I've learned about planet Earth, is it always will provide you with some pros and cons of every area, and you just have to suss that out. But that's kind of my story. It was for love. I got married for my second time in Utah, which I will tell you, 10 years ago when I was almost 39, I could have never seen myself moving to Utah. I would have never saw myself living in America and Utah. I would have just seen myself as continuing to live in Canada. And that changed. And maybe it's the law of attraction. I can do a video on that too in the future, where you have to decide what you want and attract it. I can talk about all sorts of things on this channel, but I'm gonna skedaddle, start walking back. I think my husband's back from being on the road. He's a truck driver, so I'm gonna go check in on him, finish some house cleaning, and let me know what you want to see on this blog. Certain areas. I mean, I can't go to Arches. That's like hours and hours away. Lots of money right now. I won't be going there for a while. But if I do, trust me, you'll see stuff on it. If you're feeling homesick and you've moved from someplace, even if it's state to state or province to province, if you're in Canada, you've gone to a different country, find the nature, find what's beautiful there that you like, and it will help you. It will help you acclimatize and cope. I'm out of here for now. Ciao.